Hello guys, this is Avcoor, and these two videos that I'm going to create are super important because it's going to shape your thinking about these two banners. I will start by saying that I personally had to change the direction that I was going because I was summoning for Kabir and I could not do that. But sadly, I did not get the character I wanted. I got Cassie, the water tank, and that makes me very sad. I mean, super sad. That's how good these characters are. I literally had to change the direction I was going. And I don't mind eating my own words because for the most part, we did not know the stats of these heroes. That's the first thing I'll say. We did not know the stats and we did not know the full capabilities of these heroes. It's mind blowing what zlonggames has done. They literally just made broken characters for no reason. I think the game is early in its inception. I guess they feel like they want to draw people in, and most certainly they have done that. These characters are so amazing that, yeah, they're incredible. But let's start with Marguerite. I think Marguerite, pound for pound, is the best wizard in the game right now, and I'll explain why that is. So let's go into her stats. Sorry about the low load time.
붓고덩의 이름으로 낭만과 열정이 가득한 아이비스에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is her HP stat is B, which is really good for a wizard. The magic attack is S. The physical defense is B. That shocks me because her magic defense stat is S and her concentration is B. This blend is really amazing. Um, I'm kind of shocked that they would give her stats like this because she is a light unit. So I want you to look through the frame of this. Everything she hits will be neutral damage, and anything that hits her will be neutral damage. So the whole point of this character is she's a hybrid attacker, healer, buffer, which she does really well. I just didn't think they would give her a stat line like this. So I want to show you Clefairy real quick to make you understand that it's pretty absurd what they did with her to give you a deeper understanding of why this character is broken.
아비아 파엘 등대의 인도로 아비아를 돌봐주셔서
So when we look
감사합니다.
at Clefairy,
바로스에 있을 때보다
she
훨씬
is
웃음이
a
많아졌어요.
excellent light healer, but look at okay, so she's got AHP, which is really good. She's got B magic attack. This is S for Marguerite. Her concentration is B. Her magic defense is S. Her physical defense is B. But Marguerite has physical defense of B and magical defense of S, and she takes one hit in the HP to B. And when you add it all up, she's almost as tanky as Clefairy, and she's not even a healer. She's a hybrid healer. And the only reason they nicked her HP is because they gave her an S stat and magic attack, which is insane. So her stat line overall is absolutely impressive. When you compare her to other wizards, her stat line is absolutely amazing.
붓고덩의 이름으로 낭만과
Nola
열정이
actually
가득한
has good
아이비스에
physical
오신 것을
defense,
환영합니다.
but she actually is a green element, which holds her back, where Marguerite hits everything for neutral damage. And when you look at Susie and Susan actually have C physical defense. So does Lena, and that hurts them in the long run. This is a long-term healer, so if you're really going to spend resources, even either global or on Korea, this is a really great investment. There's there's really nothing you can say that her HP isn't S or A, and that'll be a fair weakness in in her overall stat line. But considering that she's an offensive mage that buffs and heals, I think this is fair. It should be lower, to be honest. She is light, and light is supposed to have lower stats, but for some reason, certain characters get past this, i.e., Gabriel and Marguerite. Of course, her magic attack isn't as high as her sister, but she's light, so okay. So for every time you have a buff, increase the damage that you do by 5%, maximum 20%. This won't be that way at 3 stars, but for her and her kit, this is amazing. For her to actually get damage increase is amazing. She is light, so she's going to hit everything for neutral damage. That's crazy. I can't believe they made a character this broken so early. It's really stupid. So your goal is to, over time, because she has a passive that increases her, that gives her buffs, which in turn increases the damage that she deals. And on top of that, every time I have a buff, I will try to knock down the cooldown of my skill with a probability of 25%. That's insane. The 100% probability, the the max. I don't get that part 100% probability because it's 25% on um on the website that I went to. So I'm going with the 25%, and like every time she gets a buff, 1/4 of the time she's gonna be able to knock the cooldown of her skills. This character is absolutely amazing in her construction. I can't believe they would do something like this. So you look at her skills. This is a single target light attack, dance up flock of light, dealing 1.5 damage to the character. Up to 2 buffs possessed by a pre-battle target are replicated themselves in HP for our troops with the lowest HP rest. Oh wow! So she basically gives her buffs to and heals another person on the battlefield. Unremovable buffs cannot be replicated. That's fair. This is a stupid skill. This is really good. So you buff her, she attacks somebody, heals them, and the buffs that she has collected, she puts on them. That's really good. This is a really technical character. Between her and Jin, it's hard to say which one is better. It's really hard to say which one's better. Exploding the moon. Okay, whatever. You deal 6 damage to a person you buff you own after battle. The buff surrounding it. Replicate that buff to 3 allies within your move range. The enemy cause damage. The one buff that replicates everything. What it is added one by one. 5 buff replication. So she replicates at most 5 buffs. Hmm. That's pretty good too. I wish the translation was better. This is her this is passive that you pretty much want all the time. This actually is this actually reflects off of her unique passive. So every time this will generate a buff and increase her damage. So pretty much you want this on all the time. So you require a buff at the end of action. Passive when using a skill, the magic attack power. This is pretty good, but it's hard because this synergizes so well with her kit. That's hard. It's hard to justify that. This is really good, Twinkling Light. So this is an AoE that does damage and heals all allies within 3 tiles of you. That's really good. That's an AoE that heals. That's really good. This is the teleport skill. Teleport the allies to random spots in range in the largest random buff they have. Replicate to allies. That's pretty good. And the unremovable bus cannot be replicated. Let's see who's there. Okay, Charlotte. That makes sense. So that's her sister. So of course she'll have a relationship with that. We already seen this skill. You deal 1.5 magic damage, destroy HP to all allies within 3 squares, and you can get rid of a debuff. That's pretty amazing. Um, Protection of bloody knife. This is a super buff. She can actually grant this to herself. So if you want her to buff, seeing that she can do every support action you want, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. This is actually really good, but in all the skills that she has, because this costs 2. Um, so I don't know. This costs 2. I don't think you would. That's kind of hard to justify the skill when you have so many skills that she would like to use. That's the hard part about these good characters. You actually have to think about what you want them to do since their skills are so great. Okay, this is the skill we went over. So when you look at this character, there's a lot she can do. She's gonna heal and attack. She's gonna buff herself and increase her damage. So these are 2 skills you want on her for our offensive set. And then you actually want to keep this on. Or you want this for AoE, if you want an AoE build, because this is a single target. And then she has the
붓고덩의
and then she
이름으로
has a single target here.
낭만과 열정이 가득한 아이비스에 오신 것을
But she starts with
환영합니다.
so she can do single target and AoE. That makes her great for PvP and PvE content because she can do PvP and PvP AoE is preferred. So that's amazing. Everything they gave her everything she needs to fulfill the role that you want her to be, a buffer, damage dealer, and quasi healer. So they're basically saying that this girl's gonna replace your Abia. I mean, what can Abia do better than what she can do? I mean, she's got passive healing. Like, if you use a skill, she'll passively heal. So I think that makes her better than Marguerite, but not by much. She's replacing a lot of wizards, and she's replacing a lot of sub-healers. She's replacing a lot of people. So we'll go into her. All right. So here we get to see how she works. Of course, she has strong supporter skills. All right. So we got some mobs. They're fighting. This is what makes her good in PvP content. We're gonna see why she's so good in PvP content right now.
붓고덩이 허락할 테니.
All right. So we're gonna hit all these guys.
여왕의 위엄.
And then we're gonna heal all these guys. And then she buffed herself, which increases her damage. And she's gonna like just mollywop her. This is another reason why she's like so good in PvP content, because now she can just teleport you out of safety. So if you screw up, like if you like totally just screw up, she's gonna be able to save you. She's gonna like just save the day, and she gets herself a buff because of her passive. So obviously that's the best passive she can get in her kit. She just automatically just buffs herself. So now they're dead. And now all you have to do is attack, because now her damage is like increased. Look how much magic attack she gets because of that garbage. That's insane, man. This character's insane, man. That's one of the worst passives you
다들
can do.
괜찮으신가요?
You auto buff yourself, man. That's crazy. These characters are crazy. I can't believe they did this. We're gonna go into some characters that you should, as a player, want to use her with. So let's go back out of here. All right. So let's go to glossary. Let's go to. All right. So one of the first people you want to pair with is Gabriel. Gabriel is for PvE and PvP content. I know people say that Catch is better. She is, but Gabriel actually can function moderately well in PvP. Not the best, but her faction buff, which Catch does not have, works with Assassin and Wizard, and Marguerite fills that role. So this is one of her best partners overall. Her second best partner overall is Clefairy. The reason why this is they're the new healer combination. Obviously, they're the new healer combination. Clefairy and Marguerite are the new healer combination because guys like Atune and Lena, they only deal damage, and Marguerite can do both. So that takes that that opens up a slot for you. So now you have tank, healer, and wizard, and you can pick whatever units you want because of that. So on some level, I'm leaning more to Marguerite because she just opens up so many team building options. Whereas you're building your team around Jin, but he's worth it. Another person who actually is good with her is Belek. Belek is weird because this makes your team more offensive and yet they can heal. And Marguerite takes a lot of pressure off of Belek to heal. So when you look at healer cores, Marguerite works very well with most of the healers, even Alicia, because you have a dark and light healer. So you're not worried about them really getting hurt by colors. So as far as healers go, she works with every healer. And another unit that I think she pairs well with, it has to be either Richard for PvP and Cassie and Catch for PvP. But she does help Avia. If you do not have a a strong healer, like not everybody has Clefairy, not everybody has Valek, not everybody has Alicia. So Avia, if you have Avia, then you can make use of Marguerite, and that will support your party. And any DPS is welcome. Even Ballet benefits from Marguerite because if you have just like the the three core heroes, then Marguerite will fill that hole in your team. But the stats you want to build on Marguerite is kind of a mixed bag because you don't want to neglect her defenses because that's a strong aspect of her character. But you also have to realize that she is a strong offensive unit because her passive fixes a lot of like holes. The fact that with every buff she gets damage increase. Damage increase is better than magic attack increase because magic attack just raises your overall magic attack up, but damage increase actually affects everything: your skills, your attack, and every other thing that's included in that attack, damage increase actually improves. So you're looking at one of the highest damage dealers in the game based on the passive alone. And that's extremely amazing. But anyways, if you like my content, hit the like, share, subscribe button. I'll get back to you. Have a great day and goodbye.